Welcome back to another Tuesday night lecture. First of all, I want to say that I'm very proud to see everyone, both sides, boys, girls. Today was a very tough day for me to come here, not because yesterday was the Goyish New Year. It's because my daughter, and my sister actually, but my daughter is actually in the hospital right now. And I still said I cannot be mevatel a shiur of Torah. So I said I have to come and give the shiur Torah. That's one. And two, my nephew is getting his upsharon. And I said to my sister, you'll have to forgive me. And I got a whole Megillah after. But I have to give a shiur Torah. Because there's no better and more happier nachat ruach for me and for Hashem to see everyone here, boys and girls, tonight. For me, it's the most satisfying pleasure that can ever be, both physical and mental. Today's topic is going to be, what is happiness? You know, we live in an illusion. We live in a society, if not the most successful, the most golden age society. If you look just 100 years ago, they couldn't even imagine what we have nowadays. The phones, the cars, the transportation, the technology, the kaif, the enjoyment. You can go all over the world nowadays. You can do that in 5 years, you can go out throughout the whole world. And yet, we're still not happy. How is that possible? How is it that you can get anything in the palm of your hand and you're still not happy? That doesn't make sense. Maybe you guys have another interpretation of happiness. What do people think is happy? Make money, hustle, beautiful wife, good car, bodegi, show off, I have a nicer girl, I have a nicer guy, I'm over here, I'm over there. We have a variety of anything. Just look at the drug department. The amount of weed, of different section of weed you can smoke, forget about it. You can get lost in the dispensary nowadays. There's candy, there's chocolate, there's fruits, vegetables already, there's pies, there's different kinds. It's sour, and then there is this one. Then now, when I was growing up, there was either sour or crappy. You got to pick between the one or the other. Nowadays, forget about it. Kaifu, enjoy whatever you want. You go to the alcohol store, all different kind of alcohols in the world. Anything you can imagine. But are we still happy? Are we happy? And the answer is no. You fool yourself in telling yourself that I'm happy. I'm enjoying my life. We go to school. We get married. We go through our childhood. We have girlfriends. And we do everything to pursue what? Happiness. Pleasure. Pleasure is a form of a different midah, which comes to, at the end, happiness. The key in this life is to be happy. To really answer this question, we're going to go off the tangent of Torah. Because nowadays we live in a society that the Torah view and outlook of life is not interesting anymore. It's not. Nowadays we need something scientific, we need something crazy, something that doesn't even make sense. But before we get into that topic, I have to tell you a story. In the Pirkei Avot, in the 6th chapter of the Pirkei Avot, I'll tell you why I'm saying this story. When I was writing this lecture, you should know, I sit down for a couple hours a day, and I say I have to know what I'm saying. If not, I'm going to be like a dafuk in front of everyone. So I have to sit down and I have to write. And my wife was there with me. My daughter wasn't feeling well, whatever the story was. And I told him I need a good, nice, juicy story. She said, very simple. She said that in the Pirkei Avot, in the sixth chapter, there's in the ninth Mishnah, there's a beautiful story. And how does she know this? This was her graduation speech. She said, say this, it's good. How do I know it? I wrote it for her, but that's beside the point. She's going to see this, she's going to kill me. Okay, so what does this Mishnah say? The Mishnah is such a beautiful Mishnah. What's the story? A man comes and he sees a rabbi. What's this rabbi? Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma. What does Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma say? He's walking down the road and an elderly man sees him and says, "Come to live in our city and I will give you gold, silver. I will make you so wealthy." And Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma says, "Even if you give me all the beautiful stones, all the gold, all the wealth, anything that you can imagine, I will not leave the city of Torah." Okay, nice story. But then the Mishnah says something very interesting and very weird. What is that? I'm going to read to you inside. V'zahav ha'avanim tovit u'margiliot ba'olam, gold, silver, nice jewelry, basically the whole 47th Street. Eino dar ela bimkom, ein milamdin lo adam, lo kesef, lo zahav, lo avanim tovot. In the world to come, whenever you die, you don't take any of those stuff. You don't take it. You don't take your gold. You don't take your Ferrari. You don't take your Bentley. You don't take your house. You don't take anything. Nothing goes with you. Now, every first grader is going to ask this question. We already know this. Why is the Mishnah saying this to us? Why? Why do I care that you're telling me that we don't take any gold and silver? Is that really the real reason why Rabbi Yossi ben Kisma didn't want to live in a place that he can have all the gold and jewels in the world? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol nihiya b'dvaro. So I heard a wonderful story, and I think this is the answer to the question. God bless you. There was a man, his name was Yaakov. And this Yaakov, Habibi, he used to work 17 hours a day. He was a real estate agent. He used to buy, flip, sell, buy, flip, sell, buy, flip, sell. He had no time, nothing. He 80 years of his life. He used to work and work and work and hustle and work. When this man died, this rabbi that said this story, it gave me chills. When he went to his levaya, he wanted to see what are people going to talk about him. You know, you always go to a funeral, you always want to know what are they going to talk about. So they get up, they said, you know, he was a very nice man. When he was 25 years old, he helped a woman. When he was 35, every 10 years, they used to find some crack and story that they would have to find about him. No one ever mentioned that he was wealthy, he owned so much money, he was so successful, he had a happy house. No one mentioned that. Why didn't anyone mention that? That should be your glory. If I was a truck, when I die, wouldn't someone? I think I would want someone to say, "Listen, I was the most wealthiest man in New York at the time. I had the Trump Tower," but no one's gonna even mention it. Why didn't anyone mention it? And that's what the Pirkei Avot was trying to say. That it's very simple. It's very logical that we're not gonna take anything to Olam Haba. It's a known fact. But what are people going to remember you for? Are they going to remember you for your money? They're going to remember you that you drove a Bentley? They're going to remember you that you had so many industries that you were under your pocket? Or they're going to remember the small things that you did on the side for people? But what does that have to do with happiness? I'm about to explain to you. There was a psychologist, there is a psychologist, he's alive right now. His name is Robert Waldinger. That's his name, stupid name, but that's his name. He made a study. What was the study? This study has been going on for many, many years. And it wasn't any simple study. It's a study of Harvard. It's called Harvard Study of Adult Development. This study has been going on from 1938, close to almost more than 80 years, kimat. Now, what is this study? They took a whole bunch of men in 1938. The exact number is 724 men. And they took half of them that were Harvard students and half of them that grew up in poverty. You know, they didn't even have water in their house. They came from broken houses, and they made a study. What's a study? Every year, they have to talk about their progress of life. What's their progress? And they gave them medical exams. They did the whole 9 yards. Why? They wanted to know what makes the person happy. What's better to know what the person is happy? By doing actual live tests. So they took these 724 men, and after so many years, they came to a conclusion. What was their conclusion? And the results are fantastic, Avi. It's going to blow your mind. They came and they said that each one, to have their physical and their psychological development to be panormalny, let's say at an older age, was depending on their quality of their relationship in their house. If you have a normal relationship in your house, know that you will live a very happy life. That means with your kids, your wife, and so on. Now, you should understand, this study was done with lawyers, with doctors, with people that went up the scale, went down the scale, and they saw that a person that has a good relationship with their spouse, especially at the house, they end up having a normal life. But where do we see this in the Torah? You know, Hashem created the world. If we look through the whole Parshat Bereshit, we see Hashem created the first day and it was good. He created the second day, it was good. He created the third day and it was very good. The fourth day, everything is good. Of course, God created it. Why wouldn't He say it's bad? No? Logical question. Why wouldn't He say it's bad? No, because it was really good. But then what does it say? He created man. The whole purpose of life was to create man. We live in this world because of men and women, but because of us, the whole world was created because of us. And He said, Lo tov, it's not good. Lo tov liyot adam levado. It's not good for a man to live by himself. So what did He create? He created a woman. Why? Imagine you being all alone in this world. Would it be fun? Guarantee you would kill yourself.
All alone?
All alone. You would take a gun and you would shoot yourself in the head. You would take a rock and bash your head on the wall or something. It's too boring. I stay home alone with my wife, I want to kill myself. Where are the kids? Where's the action? Where's the screaming? The drama is good. So what did Hashem do? He created a woman. Right away, all the men. What? Without them, you know what you're going to be? Nothing. You're going to be nothing. Hey, don't have too much ego there. Relax. Wait, we're going to get into it. What's a good wife now? Relax. Hold those horses. You with me, Avi? Good. So Hashem created a woman. Hashem's saying, you want to have a good relationship? You have to know how to communicate. You have to know how to talk. I hear this story, such disturbing stories, you know. The dating world is so open nowadays. It's crazy. You can go out with a girl from the other side of the world, or a girl can go out with a guy on the other side of the world, and they can't find the right person. How does that make sense? They date 50 men, 50, and you can't find one man! He's not good for you? Or not even, don't get too happy. You'll date 100 women. 100, and not one is normal for you. How does that make sense? We live in a society of a quick fix. We want everything 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Life is a progress. Relationships, you have to work on it. She yelled. Okay, she yelled. She's on her thing today. Leave her alone. She yelled. So what? He's not giving me attention. Okay, maybe something bad happened. It's all a matter of talking. It's all a matter of the tongue. If you know how to use your tongue, you can get anything in life. But we don't want to. We're too lazy. We want a quick fix, quick fix. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's what we want. Ask half of the people that finish high school. What do you want to do? I want to go into business. I want to be this. Why? I don't want to go to school. I want to make money right away. Okay, they don't make money right away. They crash. Now they're all day smoking, or they're being bums. They're staying at home. Mommy's doing the laundry. For what? Life is not a quick fix. You gotta hustle. And that's a relationship between a man and a woman. And that's happiness. I have a duck on my keys. You know I have this duck? You know who gave me this duck? My son gave me this duck. He said, Abba, you taught me the Aleph Bet. My Rebbe gave me a prize. This is my happiness. A duck that costs less than 99 cents. Not a Ferrari, not a Lambo, or even a new suit. It's the duck. I've been fixing this duck for my keychain more than I've been going to eat because it's been falling. But this is my happiness, this duck. And you guys think it's funny because you guys are not parents. This is your happiness. This duck.
This is your own number. It doesn't make sense. Really.
What doesn't make sense?
How's the duck happy?
So let's go back. Let's rewind. Shh. No. Shh. Don't justify yourself. You're on camera. Shh. Shh. What does it mean that the duck is happiness? It's how he got it. It's the result. You know, if a couple in their relationship, they don't see any progress, that doesn't mean that they're not for each other. You want to go outside for a break?
No.
That doesn't mean that they're not for each other. That means someone has to step up to the plate and figure out what's the issue. Back in the day when people lived in one city, when there was 100 families, every single person in that city got married. Now you live in a whole country, or even in New York, and 40 to 50% of singles are not married. How does that make sense? That's not logical. That doesn't even make sense. Statistically, no, not that there wasn't so many options. They were happy with what they had. You go to a store, you go to a wedding now. You know, in my yeshiva, we have someone that's been helping us lately a lot. She works in the office. And one time I got into conversation with her and she said, I don't understand these Bukharian men. Okay. For example, nothing crazy. Why on the Shabbat table there has to be so many salads? They don't eat anything. And she's right. We live in a society, I even spoke about this to Mr. Gurgov on Shabbat when we were learning. He said, why they order so much food that goes to the garbage? Because you know why? We look with our eyes. We pick everything with our einayim. Be happy with what you had. Back in the day, they married their first cousins. They were happy. Shh, no names. They were happy with that. You want to know why? Because they knew the life has a problem. You have to work with each other, and that's happiness. A happiness is not a new watch because a month later you want a new one. A happiness is not a good car because a month later you get sick of that car, you want a better one.
That's everything.
No. It's not everything. And I'll explain to you why. It's very easy to say, yo, it's not working with my wife. Bye-bye, wife. I'm divorcing you, I'm getting a new wife. It doesn't work that way. I'm getting married, I'm committing myself to that person. I'm getting engaged, I'm committing myself to that person. Yeah, there are bumpy roads. The Ben Ish Chai says, you know exactly when you get aged, that's the exact time when all the problems happen. Every problem in the world you can imagine happens when you get engaged. Why? Satan wants you to break up. He wants you not to get married. He wants you to do shtuyot. He wants it to. You know how many people I know that got engaged and they broke it up for this. It's not even stupid. This is There's no word to it. If they lived 100 years ago, they would have been beaten up from their parents. How dumb can you be for breaking up a marriage for this? He looks at me the wrong way. So what? You think when you get married, it's always going to be lovey and dandy? Be happy if plates don't start flying in the house. It's not funny. It happens. This stuff happened. That's why we're here today, to learn the difference. How not to be animals. Don't be scared. There's nothing to be scared about. Marriage, Hashem put man and woman together to work on one thing. Tikkun HaMidot, to work on our characteristics. We're only in this world, we only get married, not because our wife is our mirror, like all those books that say. It's not really what you think. Our wife is our helper. She's here to complete us, in a sense, to work on our midot. She can whine all day. She can complain. You're cheap. You're this. You're that. She can do everything. Oh, I'm not going to be... What am I, a loch? I'm going to scream back. I'm going to fight with her. Okay, now what? My Rebbe's taught me something. Of course, I'm not comparing this to my wife, but when a dog barks at you, you're going to bark back? Imagine you walking over here. We have a dog not too far from here. It starts to bark at you. What are you going to go ow, ow, back at the dog? What are you, an idiot? You don't bark back at a dog. You just walk away. You see it's a dog, you walk away.
What if you see the same dog every day?
You know what the problem is? Maybe the leash has to be on your neck and not on her neck. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying in general. It can't be that the woman or the man you married that once upon a time you fell in love with suddenly became such an animal. It's not possible. That means you need to revive that love that you had once inside of you. It is there. And you know who feels it the most, this pain? Kids that come from broken houses. You guys have an advantage, most of you. You come from houses, yeah, father's crazy, mother's even worse, but they still live with each other. Imagine what it is to grow up without one of your parents. How you're going to feel? That's not happy. That's not a life. That's a destruction. The Torah told us thousands of years ago to have Shabbat. You know why we have Shabbat? Not because back in the day they need it. Because today we need it. There's not any 5 minutes that I haven't seen a couple of people here that are not on the phone after. What's wrong with you? Put your phone down, put it away, don't look at it. 5 minutes. Can we do for 5 minutes? No. You're seeking attention that you're not getting. It's all about the likes. It's all about the views. It's all about the attention. That's what it is. We became robotic. What is he saying about me? What is she saying about me? What kind of sickness is this? When you're going to learn to live for yourself, for your own happiness and not for your friend's happiness, you'll live a better life. You don't need to prove yourselves to anybody. You don't need to prove yourselves to anybody. If the person that you want to go out with, or even your own happiness, if someone doesn't like it, but you like it, you don't need to even justify yourself. I'm happy this way. I like my life. But again, that's only if you're doing the right way. People spend thousands of dollars a year on therapy. Therapy is one of the biggest gifts God gave. One of the biggest gifts. Why? Because in life you need to talk to someone. You must talk. God gave you zvon for a reason, no? You need to talk. Talking is healthy, both for women and for men. I was one time speaking to my student. He was like, "Listen, Rabbi, I listen to you, but she talks too much. I can't. From the second she enters my car until I leave, she's just talking." I said, "It's the best thing that can ever happen to you." Why? She's comfortable with you. She likes you. She's talking to you. Women have a tendency of opening up to people that they feel that they can open up to. Unless they're airheads, but that we're not talking about. That's what it comes down to be. Because at the end of the day, only whoever is married will understand what I'm saying. Being in an intimate relation with a girl that's not your wife and then getting married and having an intimate relationship is two different things. Before your marriage and after you while you're married and before you're married is two different things. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this in the camera. Back in the day, it was called bang bang ski ski. You know what I mean? You do what you gotta do and you run away. There's no. You know why you're not satisfied really? You don't have any emotional feeling towards the person. You just want to do the act and you want to run away. That's not happiness. And the same thing goes with alcohol and drugs.
At that moment, it gives you the satisfaction.
No, but that's a satisfaction of a lie. You see what I mean? I'm already back on the phone. It's an addiction. I don't blame you. It's a satisfaction for the moment. You want to know why? Because the next second when you're off it, you want to do it again. Because you want to feel that spiritual high, both even if it's through smoking or through drinking, but you just don't know how to sustain that satisfaction. You don't know how to feel it. There's only one thing that can give you that satisfaction. It's knowledge. When someone is smart, he's always on a high. Not necessarily in Torah. It also can be in different subjects. When you know something more than someone else knows, you feel so happy. Like you're a loser. I'm smarter than you. And that's why the Torah commanded you to learn Torah, to be smart. I never understood these people say, I don't want to learn Torah. Why? Well, it's so old-fashioned. What do you mean old-fashioned? It has everything inside. I just proved to you how we need Shabbat more than everything now. How many of us have younger brothers and sisters? Oh my God, they're all day on the phone. They're all day on the iPad. They're 3 years old. They're already.
They know we need Shabbat today because of that.
Your parents should know. How did they know?
Yeah.
Oh, very simple. Because if it was already bad back in the day, Kal v'chomer what's going to be now. Yiridat hadorot. The generations went stupider and stupider. It went less and less and less and less. Why don't we invest our time in our family? I used to put on tefillin for a very elderly man. I used to do it with Rabbi Babachayev. He was back in when we were in 108 in yeshiva. He was a Holocaust survivor. And he was a very old man. He lost his family. He lost his wife and his 3 kids in the Holocaust. He got remarried to his first cousin when he came back to America. And he had 2 kids. And I was very interested and I asked him, he became very successful after the Holocaust. I said, is there anything that you would regret, that you regret in your life? Now, you're talking to a Holocaust survivor. And he looked at me, and he said, not spending more time with my family. No one in a million years that passed the age of at least 70 would ever say, I regret not spending more time in the office to make more money. Money comes and money goes. Wife and kids, they don't come and go. It's either they're here today and they're not here tomorrow, or they're here today and they're here forever. And that's the true happiness. Happiness is in your hand. It's right in front of you. It's your family. It's not your friends. I don't believe in friends. They don't exist. Never did and never will. I believe in family. Your wife is your best friend. She's only naggy because you're doing something something is wrong. Figure out the problem. Even your girlfriend or your boyfriend. The reason why something is not right, something went wrong there. She feels something not good.
But they're always unsatisfied, right?
They're unsatisfied. No, they're not. Shh. They're not always unsatisfied. You're just, most of the time, not satisfactory. You don't give that satisfactory to the woman. When did you ever think, you know what? Maybe I'm going to ask her what she wants to do today. Maybe I'm going to ask, how's your day? Papa texts in the middle of the day. I miss you. How are you doing? What are you thinking about? Why didn't that go through any man's head? What are you, caveman? You want to have the most fanciest watch? Why can't you pick up your phone in the middle of the day and say, what's up? What's going on? Did you eat today? You want me to stop by and bring you food? Even though she knows, and you know she's not going to say, bring me food. Druch, say it for fake. You make them happy. What do you care? What do you care? What do you care? And if they say, yeah, okay, you get an Uber, you put it in the Uber and you ship it to her.
Shut up,
Uber Eats.
It's not a problem. Better to give a Uber Eats and not say anything. Many times, why didn't you pay attention to me? The whole day I'm waiting for your phone call. And they're right. Men in their nature, they have to learn to give. Why are the women giving more than the men nowadays? They shouldn't be the ones doing the initial move of anything. It should be you. And that's what happens in a marriage. What did you say? For a man? Anything. The initial move. You had a bad day, right? It happens to me all the time. If you know where I work, you'll understand. I'm joking. I love my job. It's the, because you're not there anymore. That's why I feel bad. Listen, the satisfactory I get from my job, I don't get such a satisfactory anywhere. To see the most, the kids that no one had hope for, and you take them and you show them that really those people have no hope, and you are the most potential people in the world, it makes me so happy. Because you want to know why? We just do like this to them. Whoever knows, knows. You understand? Because everyone has potential. Even that the biggest crackhead on 108 Street has a potential. I'm saying 108 Street. That was maybe even Moti Sharma, because I know someone worse. He lives on 110th Street. You understand? Everyone has a potential. Women, if you look at the biology that how Hashem created the world, He created it in order for us, men, to give satisfactory to the woman. In an emotional and in a physical, biological way. They're not happy is because you're doing something wrong, Habibi. You're doing something wrong. Something doesn't make sense in the relationship. That doesn't mean it's time to break up. Unless there's really something wrong, then you have to talk about it. I want to tell you another story. If you look at the whole Sefer Bereshit, the whole book of Genesis, from Bereshit until Vayechi, we see something very interesting. What do we see? Who is the character over there that had the most charm? Who had the most charm? Yosef. All the time, Yosef was chen. Wherever he went, he had success. He was a walking success machine. Don't forget, he lost his mother when he was 9. When he was 17, his brother sold him. When he was, I think, 20-something, he was accused of being with his master's wife. He went to jail. He got out when he was 30. He went to Paro, and then he became the leader of Klal Yisrael.
Because he went through all that stuff.
Wrong.
So much
Wrong. You gonna listen? At the end of the life, towards the end, what did Yosef say to his brothers? Don't be scared, for I won't do anything to you. For Hashem sent me here. Really, he said, because you, brother, sent me here. Why didn't he say, because you, brother, sold me here? That's the truth, right? You sold me here. Say it as it is, Yosef. No, because you sent me here. When we live a life that everything comes from Hashem, regardless of our situation and our status of our life, you'll have a more successful life. You're 100% right. You grew up, not you, but whatever it is, you grew up in a hard life, hardship. Does that mean I have to do the same thing to my kids? To my wife? I've seen how I've seen how my father abused my mother, and they fought, and they ran out of the house, and they were young, and they were every week, every month, the same story. I'm getting divorced. And they're still living together for 50 years after. Do I want to live that same life with my spouse? And that's what Yosef was telling his brothers. I had hell, but I know I was sent here to feed all of your mouths at the end. And that's the moral of happiness. You have to work with what you have. You know why the grass is always greener on the other side? Everyone says this. You know, he has it better. His wife is good. His mother's like this. You know what the problem is? If you start watering the side that you live on, it will be as greener. You don't water your side of the grass. You're too busy looking at the other side. Water your side. Put fertilizer. Take care of your grass. I promise you'll have a more happier life. And that's the point and the real reason of happiness. So next time you say, Rabbi, I smoke because I want to be happy. No, you smoke because you want to run out of reality. That's why. I'm not saying not to smoke. I never said that. I'm not saying to smoke. I don't want to get after this whole balagan. I'm just saying know what you're doing. And that goes to the girls too. Stop trying to impress. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. Because one day when you're going to get married, when you're not going to put off all that makeup, when you're not going to put on all the other garbage that you do, the husband's going to have a heart attack. Who would I marry? This is Malach HaMavet in my house. Chas v'shalom, I'm not calling any woman Malach HaMavet. I'm just saying a woman has to know her boundaries as well. There's the boundaries. How you can impress too. And I'm going to finish with this. And then we're done for tonight. There was a story about Rabbi Chia. Rabbi Chia in the Gemara, he had a wife. His wife was a tzaddiket. Her name was Bruria. She actually killed herself. We're not going to get into it. And she wasn't such. She was a tzaddiket, but she wasn't such a, I would say, such a great wife. To a point that after Rabbi Chia had his 2 boys, she made it that she should never be able to have kids again. What did she do? How did she trick him? At home, she said, listen, you're the Av Beit Din, you're the head of the court. Can I stop having kids? You did your mitzvah, you had 2 boys. I don't want to have no more kids. It's not a mitzvah for a woman to have kids. He told her at home, you're 100% wrong. We have to have more kids. So she dressed up in a different garment. She went to the Beit Din. The women were covered, they had sniut. And she asked the Rav Meir, she said, I have 2 boys already. Rav Meir, not knowing that this is his wife, what did he say? Al pi halacha, no problem. He comes home that night. He sees that she drank that certain seeds. It was a certain seeds of a certain fruit. She drank it, and he's like, wow, my wife tricked me. Not only that, his 2 sons died too. I'm not going to get into the story, but this is what I want to get into. Not really. No, not really. Not because of her. This is written in 2. There's one in Chagiga, and Tani also brings a little bit of a hint of it. But really, Masechet Chagiga is full of Agadta. It's beautiful. Again, off topic. Let's get back into the topic. Rabbi Chia had a sister-in-law. Beautiful girl. You know, I'm not going to get into features now. Everyone uses his own imagination, but use it with snoot, of course. Number 11, this one was. And I'm going to explain to you why. The Gemara says how she used to walk. She lived in Rome, not in Rome, in Israel. And Israel that time was conquered by the Romans. A big portion of it. The Gemara says she used to walk with a very tight skirt. Nowadays they call it a pencil skirt. Listen, focus, stop now blushing everyone over here. She used to walk with a very tight skirt, and she used to make it that when she used to walk, one foot would end by the other foot. It would be like she would walk like this. Purposely, the Gemara brings down how she used to make all of her features used to move like that. The Gemara is not stupid. The woman should learn Gemara how to actually make themselves look better. That's how smart the Tanaim were. And she used to walk like that purposely. Why? To attract who? The Roman guards. She wanted to look beautiful. She didn't get the attention at home. You should know that. She used to walk like that, and after a couple of years, the Romans said, listen, she's beautiful. I get her tonight, you get her tomorrow. What are you going to say? Can't say anything. If not, they kill you. They did it Pogruzinski. They covered a bag over her. They seriously, until today, that's how they married their spouses. I'm not going to get into it. They put a bag over her. They took her to Rome. They did what they did with her. And they left her where? In the Beit Hazonot. They left her in the house of harlots. Wow. Remember, that's who a goy is. I want you to understand that. A goy, one day he likes you, the second he doesn't like you, have a great day. Bye-bye, Charlie. I can tell you thousands of stories in the Holocaust. Husband and wife, they lived with each other for 30, 40 years. Suddenly, they found out that they were Jewish. Bye-bye, he's not my husband anymore. You can take him. We have kids together. Take my kids too. Bye-bye. That's a goy. Shetidu lachem as a goy. I'm not racist, but I'm telling you a reality. Esav sonei Israel. Esav hates the Jewish people. And Rabbi Chia, no, it was really Rabbi Meir. I'm sorry, not Rabbi Chia, it was Rabbi Meir. He went to save his own sister-in-law. Why? How can a Jewish girl be stuck in the house of such a disgusting act? And what was the cause, Rabotai? Who caused it? She caused it herself. She wants to impress. She wants to live for the Shechina, not for the Shechina. She wants to live for the people, not for God. Who's going to marry me? I'm going to marry some guy with a long beard. He looks so ugly. No. Not true.
Probably religious.
That's a pure Yonatanov comment. You understand? I'm flattered. You understand? That's not true, Rabotai. Yesh v'yesh, I guarantee you this for any girl. They would rather live with a guy with a beard from here to Yerushalayim, but know that they're going to be happy, than a guy that has no beard and know they're going to be miserable for the rest of their life. I'm not saying all guys with beards are good. I never said that. Forget the beard comment. I'm saying a guy that keeps Torah mitzvot, that knows that he's living for who? I'm living for God. I'm living for a wife. If you know, girls don't understand this. When a guy says, I have to go to Minyan, I have a shiur Torah, I have this, I have that, he's a good guy right away. Why? He has priorities. He lives with principles in his life. He has a set rule. But if you have a guy, Ratan, don't worry about it. Suddenly the girl's happy. I have a blatnoy guy. Okay, no problem. They get married. Next week, he's cheating on her. What happened? What is she going to do? Nafasiyach. That's it. She's done. She's done. But why? Because you thought what was important was really not important. Know your priorities, both men and women. And also for married people. You have a jewel in your house. You have a wife. You have kids. Put effort in them. They're your future. That's your life. Shetidalecha. That is your life. Your life is your kids and your wife. That's why you better pick a good one. And I hope to one day to be besameach in all of your weddings. Amen. And we can go be in happiness and more happiness. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen. Amen.